Hey, what's up everybody? It is Kellen here from Starter Systems, and welcome to another edition of Track Walk in MX Simulator. Today we are going to be playing Mount Whitney Motocross by Atlas Zor. Another awesome creation by the Zor Master. And this is not a recreation of a track called Lake Whitney, which is an old motocross track that no longer exists. It's its own deal. It's just a fun little track that he made from scratch and did a pretty darn good job at it. I think it's got a lot of good flow. Visually, it's one of the more aesthetically pleasing tracks that's out there of recent releases. This track was released 3 weeks ago, maybe. And most of the time, people do not include those grass decals that you see off the side of the track, mainly because that adds like texture into the game, essentially, so it makes your game load longer. You know, it's tougher on the computer is essentially what I'm trying to get at. So most of the time people don't include that. Like on my house compound track that I created, I did not include those grass decals, even though in the original version of it I had those, but in order for people to be able to play it and not have any lag issues, I took them out. So definitely adds a little bit more depth, because normally there's not grass statues all around these tracks like this, but I like it. It's a nice touch, and I feel like the track is small enough that he can have something like that and it doesn't necessarily weigh down your computer too much. But the track itself, like I said, is pretty fun, really good flow if you get it down. I am playing the rough version of the track. It comes with a smooth, non-rough or rutted version so that you can take it fresh and use a road to lay down ruts, or you could download this version of the track, which is the rough version, and just play with the already preset ruts so that you don't have to feel like you're motoing down just to create lines to hit. And yeah, overall, I think it's a really, really fun track that I'm going to try to make look good. I've definitely started working on slowly getting the speed back in this game that I feel like I've lost over the last couple of months. I made an advanced stability change to kind of taking the punch of turning and leaning out of it, because I felt like I was having a lot of my issues with sudden tip overs or leaning too far into a corner and smashing my face on the ground. So I've stiffened up the advance just a little bit to try to help with that. And then playing time was another big thing. I wasn't playing this game very often, so getting back into it slowly but surely. And track walk is how I'm going to do that, is start doing these track walks pretty regularly. It's been a couple weeks since the last one, and I try to do them weekly, but it doesn't always pan out. But hopefully we'll get back into a groove here. And I figured I'd start off with a bit of a banger track like this Mount Whitney track. Tracks like these are always really good too, because it's so visually nice. They're a lot better when it comes to like making videos or taking screenshots on, because then you don't feel like, like the screenshot I made looks really sick, like I got the rider in an epic position, but the background of the track looks like I'm in the middle of nowhere because there's no atmosphere to the track. So I like when a track creator takes his time and really lays out a nice environment as well as a good track. And I think every track I've played by Atlas Zor so far has had that kind of appeal to it, where not only is the track a pretty good track, I wouldn't say like this is my favorite track ever, layout wise and playability and all that business, but it's a fun track, and then you couple that with a good environment, and I feel like it makes just a winning combination. So if you're building a track for the first time, this is something that I would recommend that you kind of take notes of, is kind of visualize how someone like Atlas Zor or JGMT Bike is another good reference point. Of course, Checkers as well, but these are all guys that still currently build tracks and release them. They're good reference points to like start and kind of try to copy. I wouldn't say like exactly, but take some of their ideas and what they do when it comes to designing tracks into your own, because these guys have done a good job from pretty much day one. Like, I have not played a bad JGMT track or a bad Atlas Zor track in any aspect. Playability, visual, they always seem to hit it out of the park. So you know, of course you want to add your own flair to each track if you're building one, but I would definitely recommend just, you know, looking into what these guys did, maybe even taking the folders of the track themselves and looking into how they laid things out. Some creators do not release folders, but I think most do. I think this track is a folder released. So yeah, just a little bit of advice. When I started building tracks, I definitely did that as well with Checkers' tracks. I also used Motoboss and VMX Sky, I think was his name. Definitely Sky99 was his forum name, but just took some kind of pointers from them, asked them questions if I was able to get in touch with them. Obviously, I have a pretty good relationship with Checkers anyway, so it wasn't that hard to, you know, if I had a question, I could just straight up ask him. But if you don't have that kind of connection, like I said, dive into the folder and look at and see what they did to kind of learn from. But yeah, I mean, doesn't get much more complete package than a track like this. I'll tell you what, that bridge that is in front of me there also does not have collisions. I already tried, but I'll actually go off the track in a moment and show you some cool aspects to the track that he added. And again, it just adds to that visual aspect that I was talking about. But yeah, the bridge does not have collisions. Those little flagger stands do not have collisions, but if you come around the back here, I'll go over this berm here. He's got like a fake entry. Like, look at it, it's like a roadway, and it's on the very edge of the map. I mean, this is the edge of the map right here. And you come around this corner and it says Trackworks, Atlas Trackworks, Mount Whitney MX. So that's a cool little sign right there. And then it's got an entry gate. I think it even says registration on this thing right here. I mean, just little, yeah, look at, I mean, little things like that just adds so much more appeal to these tracks. Because there are plenty of tracks out there that I've played that I'm like, man, this track is super fun, but they're practically using JLV's stock decals. And like, I can't do anything more than like just kind of maybe play this, maybe use it for a track walk, but when it comes to like doing screenshots or making an edit, or heck, even using it for like local series racing, most of the time people will kind of move on if it's not visually strong as well as plays well also. Now there's some exceptions, because I've definitely seen some tracks out there that they made an epic track, and because of its epicness, despite maybe visual aspects being down, people still use it a lot for a lot of different things. But definitely visuals is something you don't want to skimp on in building a track. And it's something I tried to always kind of touch with as well. Like, my tracks are not this level of visual. Like, this is, you know, the trees, the shadows, all that stuff. I never was able to really get all that stuff down, but I still tried to make it feel like whatever track I built in the game had a semi-realistic environment to it. Not that it needs to. I think that some people have done a killer job. Wolf MX comes to mind, of making tracks that are super unrealistic, but also have a pretty epically good environment. Like episode, I think 43, maybe 44 of Track Walk was on Wolf MX's Mario Kart replica track of Rainbow Road. And so that's another, like, that's a job right there of not using realistic visuals, but still coming up with something really cool and kind of making it their own. He also made a track called I Made a Sketch SX track, which was, it looked like, you know, drafting paper, and he had drafted a track onto it and then built the track on top of the draft. I don't know, just little things like that are cool. You always want to kind of break out of the grain. Don't necessarily do exactly what someone else has done, but you can learn from them, no doubt about it. I feel like my riding has actually been not too bad in this video. A little bit of off-track excursion, but that 156 is actually the best lap that I've done on the track, which I've only played for like 15 minutes, to be fair. But most of the time, I'll lay down a couple good laps and I'll be like, all right, time for a video, and then I'll start recording, and then my skill set just goes right out the window. I just wrapped it up in a nice little paper and threw it right in the trash can, because then I start running 20-30 seconds a lap slower than my lap times that I was running before I hit record. So it's nice to see that at least the skills have come back enough that I can keep it going. Well, that's the plan. Trying to get a little bit better just because, man, when I was doing those official track gameplays and kind of recapping the, you know, real life nationals right now and before the real life Supercross series, it was pretty bad. It was a crash fest, a palooza, lots of crashing, and of course talking about it now when I crashed, but no, it felt like 3-4 times a lap I was crashing, and I used to not be too thrilled when I would crash 3 or 4 times a video, so definitely needed to step it up a little bit. That was getting pretty atrocious there, tell you that much. Alright, we're gonna do one more lap around this track, and I'm trying to remember if I haven't hit any specific lines yet. Well, haven't hit that line, but that's just a goober line right there. Let me think. Have I not done anything yet? There is a launch jump, but I don't think you can land it that I haven't been hitting. I'll try to hit it this time by. It's coming out of this next corner. If you do the on-off, you can launch to maybe just barely clip the backside of the takeoff of the double after this single. You'll see what I mean in a second, but I tried it twice before recording. Never landed it, so I probably won't land it here, but it doesn't hurt to try, at least because it's the last lap. So if you double this and then launch off this, yeah, I went too long. All right, let's try to land it anyway. Oh man, just barely got it. So there's that, and I think that's probably one of the only big things you can do. Oh, there is another triple that I haven't tried in the back yet, but that one I haven't landed either, so maybe we'll double down on actually landing something in the video for the first time. Oop, grinding my face on the inside ledge there, pardon me. So you go through this little back-to-back roller section, 3 rollers in, 3 rollers out essentially, kind of a cool concept. And you turn the corner, you have this double. This whole back section flows really nicely. Then you have kind of like a wall jump table you have to slow down for and get. And then you have this floater double here, and then if I land this right, you can triple this. Oh, barely saved it for the corner. All kinds of out of shape. But I actually kind of cleared the triple, so there you have it. 2 jumps that I couldn't land. Just warming up for this video, I have now landed in the video. I call that a success. And I would call this a successful video. So if you guys would like to download this track, you can head down to the description right now. There's a handy dandy track link, and you can download that, save it into your personal folder, and try out this track for yourself. Actually, I'm going to leave it to the forum post, so you can go to the forum post and download whether you want to have the rough version of the track or the smooth version of the track. So I won't actually put a track download link. I will put the forum page link that this track was posted on, and you can make that decision yourself. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns you would like to ask me, please hit me up in the comment section below, and I'd be happy to answer them. And yeah, we'll see you guys in all of our future videos, especially the track walks coming back, promise. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.